Welcome to 15K plus random movie reviews, where we take random movies from Metacritic's 15K plus movies to randomly watch whether we like it or not. Hello and welcome to episode 11 of 15K plus random movie reviews. This is Colin.
This is Niall.
And this is our first recap episode. Can you believe it? We have not done any research. We haven't done any note-taking. We've done nothing. And this is what we'll do after the 10th episode of every decade that we do, and just sit back and remember the movies that we've been entertained with. So let's get straight into it. We don't know how long this episode will take. We don't know what we'll say, and we'll just see what pops into our brains when we think about the movies we reviewed. So episode 1, Summer of Soul from 2021, documentary back in the 1967 of a lot of great soul musicians. What's your biggest memories or takeaways from Summer of Soul, Niall?
Well, the first thing that popped into my head was the surprise I felt in actually enjoying the movie as much as I did. The music was fantastic the whole way through. The story was something I hadn't heard of before. That this happened over, what was it, 6 weekends, 8 weekends, and the acts that they were showing were absolutely fantastic. And the fact that at roughly the same time Woodstock was there, and it was a big deal, and everybody heard about it, and everybody knows about it. I think the whole point of this was that was ignored, because of its different culture-ness of it, because it was black culture, and they believed at the time that people wouldn't be interested in seeing that on TV, which is kind of sad. And it was an interesting point that they were making because of that. And this comes in the backdrop of, difficult times for black culture in America.
Oh, yeah. Crazy times. And yeah, I just like the fact that what I've watched this movie, I think it's 2021. It wasn't in my radar. It won, I think, if I remember correctly, an Oscar for the director. And
definitely got several awards, and not just Oscars. Again, we haven't done research. I can't give a list.
Can't remember.
But deservedly so, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like the whole movie itself, it's great. Musically, it's great. It goes through a bunch of songs and a bunch of artists, and researching them was very interesting for me, because I never would have, researched them, and things that I remember, like Nina Simone, Gladys Knight and the Pips. I think what you said about that, I remember saying that it's the roles are kind of switched there. It's the blokes in the background,
and
Gladys up front, and usually it's the guys in front and the ladies in the back doing the shoe ups. And the Pips were cool to see, because I'd always heard of Gladys Knight and the Pips, but never actually saw them in action.
Nice, but face the song. And I also liked, what was the name of that band? Aquarius was the song they sang. And their point being, and what was always said to them was that, my God, I didn't know you guys were black. Because they were told that they had a white sound. I found that a very interesting story.
Yeah, I've just gone back to my notes from the first thing, so you might have heard paper rustling there. I was trying to figure out, I can't remember, because I write notes very higgledy-piggledy, so I'm not going to be able to find the name of the band that you're talking about. But
it'll pop into my head by tomorrow. So.
Yeah. What I think I remember as well was the white mayor, John Lindsay, popping up. I think that was
the Republican chap.
Yeah, who changed to being a Democrat a few years after the concert, if I remember correctly. I did say that in our episode, hopefully. But it was interesting, because you would never really see that nowadays. You wouldn't see Chris Christie jumping up on stage at a sort of a black arts festival, whatever, or any sort of white Republican, because they pretty much are racist.
I was wondering if you were going to go there, but you did.
Well. It's episode 11. It's not normal. No.
Gloves are off in episode 11, yeah?
Gloves are off in the recap episodes, for sure. Summer Soul, yeah. So I did listen to a lot of Nina Simone after it, because I found her performance amazingly powerful as well, and that was cool. Sly and the Family Stone was pretty good to hear them too.
Don't forget Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder starts the movie off, and then he kind of ends it as well.
Yeah, he's a nice bookend. Like
yeah.
You can't go wrong with a bit of Stevie.
No. So it was good. Episode 1 was a fantastic start to our adventure. This was actually a really lucky random number. It was number 50.
50, yeah. Like, that's a ridiculous number to start with.
Yeah, because
things don't stay up there for very long, do they?
No. So maybe like the gods of randomness were smiling at us, going, "Okay, let's make them."
I think the pay now after that.
Yeah. So we moved on then to episode 2. I remember when we randomly rolled this one. This was 5,308 in Metacritic's list. And when I saw the title, it was Kisses from 2008. And I was like, "Oh, is this a rom-com? Bloody hell. The hell are we going to do with this one?"
This is not a rom-com.
And then it turned out to be Irish, which was like another little sort of, I don't know, destiny thing. We got like a good roll for the first one, then an Irish one for the second one. It was like, okay, this is the gods of randomness are guiding us here towards greatness. But Kisses, what do I remember most from Kisses? I remember most the not very good acting, the bleakness.
Everywhere you look.
Well, it's probably fair to say that Bob Dylan came out of this one. Well, the fact is that we mentioned Bob Dylan in episode 1 just randomly. In episode 2, Bob Dylan was a massive part of the theme. And then, so from then on, we said, oh, let's just find a connection to Bob Dylan for every episode from now on. And so
that was good up to a certain point where it became impossible.
Yeah, it became really impossible. And even the ones we did put in were very, very
stretching.
vague. Yeah. So that's why we mentioned Bob Dylan in all of our episodes, and that's gone now. So whenever we do episode 12, we'll see what comes up with that, and then see if we can keep a common thread through the next 10 or so episodes. We'll see. We don't know. We're innovative. We think on our toes. We don't plan things out.
We just make stuff up.
Yeah. So I liked from Kisses. I remember saying the music was terrible, and when they were eating a hot dog, it was terrible music. And you said, "What are you talking about? That's a standard hot dog eating music." which I thought.
You not have an eternal song that plays when you eat a hot dog? I do.
Can't remember the last time I had a hot dog.
When I eat a hot dog, though.
No, it's whatever crap Kisses were playing when they did it.
The thing that I remember most from that was the scenes of Dublin, and actually the one thing that stood out, and it was a nice piece of production, was the colorification as time went on. So it started off as a black and white movie, and like, oh, very artsy fartsy, but as they get into Dublin and they're getting a bit happy and they're away from their families, the film gets colored and everything has bright lights and everything's lovely. And then as they get closer to home, everything just fades to grey. So I thought that was a nice touch. In terms of production, it's the only piece that stood out to me. The story was mediocre. The acting, as you said, was shocking.
How dare you? They were children.
They were child actors. They
weren't really actors either. They weren't really actors. They sort of just lined up.
The people around them weren't great, was the problem. Stephen Ray, as you mentioned, is a good actor. In his 15 seconds or whatever, he plays it well.
Yeah, obviously.
The guy in the boat, terrible.
Yeah, obviously Stephen Ray was a buddy of the director, because I think he appears in a couple of his other movies. So
yeah.
They're obviously best friends. Yeah, as he said, nothing really happens. They don't talk enough to actually grow to like them enough as children. Like, when you have children in a story, you want to empathize with them, and they're a little bit scrotish. They're a bit unlikable.
Is that in any dictionaries? I'm sure it is.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's you want to like the kids. You want to feel sorry for them. You want, like, they spent a night in Dublin. You got to feel sorry for them on the streets of Dublin. Holy crap!
Well, they said they spent the night sleeping on a corpse. So,
well, that's the thing. Actually, here's one thing we totally missed the ball, because we only mentioned that near the end, and one of the pivotal moments of the plot, which we failed to mention in the episode, was that the boy character was going into Dublin to find his long lost brother. We didn't even mention that. I noticed on when I was listening to it. And so when they slept on the dead corpse and the hand popped out, which I thought was just going to be a mannequin, and they were just going to wave it about, going, ooh, they go, oh, it's that's not my brother, which it should have been his brother, I think.
Yeah, it might have made it a bit more interesting, but the whole going to find the brother thing felt a bit like a MacGuffin, like it was something to move the plot along, something to give them a reason to go to Dublin, but there was no meat behind it. There was no. They didn't seem all that motivated.
Yeah, and apart from the whole knocking on 500 doors for 20 minutes of the movie, going, do you know Barry Guffin? Barry Murphy. And then they really don't look for him after that. They just go to Abracadabra, as you say. They go to an ice rink and go through a shopping centre, and nothing much else happens. And they don't really talk too much. Or they get kidnapped by a kiddie fiddler, and that's...
It was a bit surreal, you know.
I don't know, like, if you're going to go surreal, go ultra surreal then. Like, you know, they're kids, they might have an imagination where there's monsters in the alleyways, and so show that. A little bit Tim Burton-esque or something.
Have some... bit of talking to Birdman, you know, we're fighting monsters and airplanes blowing stuff up in the background.
Yeah, why not? That sounds good to me. So you just wouldn't call it Kisses then, though. You'd call it, like, I don't know.
Birdman.
Or, yeah, Monster Alley or something. So, no. It could have been a contender. It could have been someone.
Not the worst movie that has ever been out there. Not the worst movie I've seen, and not the worst that's in the first 10.
It was easy enough to get through.
Easy enough. It didn't hurt my eyes compared to some other ones.
No.
That's the best I can say of it.
And I think because it was Irish as well, it felt a bit...
Yeah. We had some context for it as well. It's like coming home, you know, all your stuff is there.
Yeah, and you know Dublin like the back of your hand.
It's a bit blurry, though, because most of my time in Dublin was spent via bars.
Yeah, probably in the bloody alleyway that they were in.
I was the corpse.
You were the corpse. Yeah, you were just part of the... You were just like, we have to shoot this scene.
Oh, look, there's a guy lying there. I will use him. It's free.
Yeah, just put him into the script. Give me that bloody highlighter marker. I love the way at the end they just stopped a random cop at the end and just, you know, he doesn't even know he's in a movie, and he never will, because he'll never see the movie.
Hey, mister, where can I get a hot dog that doesn't play music?
I don't know. I don't eat hot dogs. I only eat roast beef and pork. So, episode 3 then came along. We sort of thought, ooh, it's Hollywood. It's Random Movie 5034. It's Changing Lanes with a stellar cast from 2002. Well, the first thing I think of when I think of this movie is Ben Affleck's stupid face.
He's really not your favourite, and I do tend to agree. He's quite wooden, but it does have Sam Jackson, who is, if given the right script, an amazing actor.
Yeah, but like Ben Affleck,
this is not the right script.
No, it's terrible. And Ben Affleck, like when Samuel L. Jackson
the crash scene when he takes the lug nuts out.
Yeah, he removes the lug nuts. He removes the lug nuts, and Ben Affleck's face. And if you're not a fan or follow our Facebook page, I made a GIF from the movie of all his faces during the car spin, and it's stupidly funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
it is.
I just remember as well Changing Lanes just being terribly sort of mundane and nothing really. They don't go far enough to make it a tit for tat sort of evil. I'm going to get you with this sort of thing.
Yeah, and there was a racial component in it that brought up for about 30 seconds, which kind of annoys me because either go there or don't go there. I don't know if you remember when Sam Jackson's in the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and there's just two advertising executives there, and they're chatting away, and he says something to them, and then the whole thing gets a bit out of hand. But it's basically because he's insulted by what they said or something. I can't really remember, but it doesn't go far enough. It was a good scene because Sam Jackson hit somebody over the head with a phone, but he misses the important line when he did that. He didn't say, "This is for you," or "It's for you," or something like that. You know,
Yeah, well,
Arnold
it's not
Schwarzenegger style.
Yeah, it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think we mentioned that twice when
Yeah,
we were doing the
probably.
podcast. Yeah, well then, and that's sort of separate from the whole Ben Affleck, Samuel L. Jackson sort of fight anyway. You know,
Completely off to the side.
Doesn't add any context to their battle.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe
He
it
should
shows
be.
he's got some anger problems.
Well, probably, but Ben Affleck should be seen as some, a little racist as well. But at this very start, when he actually crashes into him, he says, "Here, take my bloody wallet," or take my. He was going to pay anyway, so like he should be even more. I think when they first crashed, he should have been even more belligerent and rude. I think, but he wasn't. He was going to just say, "Here, take." I don't know what he said. But he said, "Take my bloody money or whatever. Here, whatever you want."
Yeah, yeah.
And Sam just wanted to do it by the book because he was just out on parole or whatever the hell, or he just got his mortgage or something.
Yeah, he didn't want any problems whatsoever. He wanted to keep it clean because he wanted to keep his kids around.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I can't really. Yeah, I just remember the Ben Affleck's wife pretty much doing a backstory for all of us because we didn't really know what the hell was going on. Scene.
Just an exposition scene. That's all it was, and it was exposition that was obvious, and that's the worst dialogue you can have. You know, This is why this is happening. This is why my dad does what he does, and I'm a heartless wench who I know that you're cheating on me, but I don't care because I like money.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, this is great.
I
some emotion, please.
I don't know what happened, but I Changing Lanes was either on one of the movie channels or I was looking at a specific scene or something, and I fell onto.
It had to be the lug nut scene, yeah.
No, it wasn't. I fell onto the scene where Ben Affleck is in Tia Leone's office, and he walks over to her really slowly with his wooden face and his wooden clogs, and he goes. He says to her, "You gotta let me go," and she's like, "Fuck off." Or something.
Yeah, that's much better dialogue.
Yeah, make me rewrite the bloody script.
You're mixing it with Succession.
Yeah, which I'm just into the third season now. I haven't watched all of it.
That's the best use of that phrase by any man in any TV show.
Yeah, well, anybody using that phrase, it changes the direction of a conversation the way you want it to.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, Changing Lanes. Forget about it.
Yeah, let's change the subject.
Yeah, let's move on to our. I think you secretly love this movie. Episode 4 was Stick, 14,537.
Well, you see, I don't love it. It's terrible, but it's one of those movies that's so bad, and the memory of how bad it is has grown on me. It's something I now cherish. You know,
you cherish it.
Yeah, like the line is in this movie.
Our favorite line of all 10 episodes.
It looks like they ran out of chickens. Like, come on, that's gold.
And also, that's on our Facebook page too, so you need to like and follow our Facebook page because I screen grabbed Bert's face at the most precious of times when he says that. He looks very puzzled, but also pessimistic about his future.
People could run out of chickens.
Yeah, so how did they run out of chickens? Did they really slaughter that much? I think there's enough weird things in this to make it memorable as a bad movie. They've got the albino stuntman.
Yeah.
Who is, you've got...
the falling out the window scene, I just adore.
I need to screen grab that too, of the mannequin hitting the side of the building or whatever. But let's not know. But hang on a sec. Like that's fine. But in contrast to that was the angle from above showing his drop. That's great.
The Hans Gruber type.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's good. That's well done. But there's some reasonable scenes interspersed with
crap.
Yeah, garbage.
Yeah, shit. We're not repeating any of the words that we say in episode 11's or our recap episodes. We're going full on, but we haven't really swore that much. We might swear for the next movie. Let me see about Stick. Anything else? Can't remember anything that's jumping out at me.
Oh, here's where I made my mistake, and I need to make a correction on it. The second level bad guy, who I cannot remember the name of now, was not in June, the movie.
Yes.
Dune, the movie, sorry, not
June.
There's more mistakes. Oh my god, I'll have to make another correction.
Sequel is July.
So yes, that's my correction. I made a boo-boo. I was convinced until you rained on my parade.
No, that was Rob in Singapore, one of our loyal listeners. Yeah, so that was, he always listens to our episodes when he's walking to and from work. So he's mental, obviously. So, all right, Stick was episode 4. That was, and then we moved into episode 5, 15,326, and the movie list was movie 43 from 2013.
Yeah, so like Stick, this is not a great movie, and it's scored roughly the same according to Metacritic. Unlike Stick, there's nothing that is growing on me over time.
No.
It's just, it's something I'd like to forget. Like, from the first scene to the last scene, and then the credits. Like, no.
Yeah, no. The more I think about it, the more I think it's just a tax fraud thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they genuinely tried. I think they tried to do something new or tried a different direction with comedy, but I think it was a type of comedy that was already becoming stale. And this is a bad example of it as well.
Yeah, maybe you're right. It was coming along at the tail ends of it, and as well as that, it was in production for like 6 years or whatever. So probably when it started, all these Scary Movie and Road Trip and Euro Trip or whatever the hell they were coming out. So maybe they were sort of piling along the sort of shock comedy things. But I think the major USP for this one was that they managed somehow to get a massive A-list celebrity list.
The cast list is bonkers. And then when you consider there's 2 variations of it, and the people who are dropped from both from the variation that we seen, we didn't see. Oh god, big names. Yeah. I'm trying to remember them now. God damn.
Well, Better Call Saul guy, his scene was dropped. And then the guys, the filler scenes. There were 2 versions of it. Oh yeah. Whatever. Yeah, I'm sure if we watched that variation of it would suck too.
Yeah, I'm not going back to watch the second variation.
No, I really don't ever want to see it again, and it's weird. It's just a stupid movie with stupid people with stupid scripts and stupid faces.
Yeah, it's really annoying because some of the I love some of the cast. I think they're really good actors and actresses, but no.
I try not to think about it. I'm watching Succession now, and I try not to think of Kieran Culkin's scene, even though I was the least not offensive, but least offensive against comedy.
Yeah, it's not funny. It's just not annoying.
No.
So yeah, it fails. His scene fails. All the scenes fails, but his fails the least because it doesn't annoy me as much as the rest.
Yeah, but it's just not funny either.
There was one scene. Both of us enjoyed it. Not all of it, but it was the leprechaun scene.
Yeah, as Irish people, we do like to see a hammed up Irish leprechaun impersonation.
Really terrible Irish accents.
Yeah, it's great.
Cursing and blinding and stabbing.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I like that. That was fine. All right, so episode 6 after that was 11,782, and it was 27 dresses. So it was our first rom-com movie just to torture and punish us. But my initial memories of that is, it was fine. It was okay. It was all right. There was like one probably funny moment in it for me, and the rest was just mediocre.
Yeah, it was a formulaic rom-com. Like, it wasn't terrible. It was a good example of its genre. I think, just not a genre I care too much about. The main actors were, they did a good job of doing what they did, but the movie itself is forgettable.
Yeah, I think the actress that played her sister wasn't the best, but that was the only sort of downside I could see about the acting, and I think that the rest of it was just blah and rom-comish and I think probably the one thing I only remember is the Benny and the Jets scene and the morning after in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
That's about it. So, and that's...
you're the Benny and the Jets girl. Yay.
Yeah, that's funny. That's okay. Yeah, it's not going to win any awards, literally.
Cruel,
yeah.
Too soon.
Anyway, we moved on to another terrible movie after that. It was 15,145. It was My Baby's Daddy, episode 7.
I think this is the contender for the worst. Was this worse than movie 43?
Actually, we did score it worse than movie 43 because, well, the thing about movie 43 was it was acted okay. It had a leprechaun scene and it was acted okay, I guess. Yes. This one was just terrible, horrendously backwards script. The acting was atrocious. And what else can you say that was bad about it? It was just terrible all around.
Scene with the baby faces freaked me out.
Again, something else I clipped and put onto our Facebook page, so like and follow. Because it's crazy and it comes out of nowhere. It's like, look who's talking. Editor just said, let's just pop this in and splice it in there and nobody will notice it, and away we go.
That movie felt disjointed. The story arcs of the three main characters didn't fit right, didn't make sense, especially the nerdy guy. That really annoyed me.
Yeah.
How he evolves over time makes no bloody sense.
And the Italian dude, the actor, God, I can't remember any actors' names. Michael Campanillo or something, I don't know. Is the
guy from Sopranos.
Exactly, and White Lotus season 2. He just played, like, I think I said this in this episode, but he just played it way too seriously. The only person who did okay was the no, what?
The guy who played G? No,
none of those idiots did anything.
Oh, his uncle. Sorry.
No, he's in the movie for like 5 seconds. No,
but he's great for 5 seconds.
He pretty much tells them to get their fucking life together and go, and they go, okay. And the next scene is them getting their life together and the movie's over.
The montage.
Yeah. No. If you let me fucking finish.
No, man.
The neonatal teacher, Amy Sedaris, she was good.
Okay. Well, she's awesome in everything she does.
She hammed it up as the teacher with a terrible script, and I think that's fine. That was fine.
Again, but she's only in it for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
More for, in fact, get rid of the 3 minutes. Just leave her teaching neonatal classes the whole time and we'll watch it all. It'll be brilliant.
Yeah, without the fart jokes.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, moving swiftly on, episode 8 was 15,000 something. I don't know what it was because in my descriptions I put the same episode number. So I totally fucked up that one. But that's fine. So Bedazzled was some number on the list, Metacritic's all-time movie list. I don't think it was that bad. I think it was 400 and something.
It was in the thousands. It was above the 10,000. I may have it written down now. I'm clicking through paper here, don't mind me.
Same. I have it. It's 2,472.
Yes,
2,472. You're right. Yeah. So Bedazzled, it was I was happy to go back to the 60s. I was like, okay, let's check that era out because, it's 2023 and I don't understand how civilization has evolved. So I like to go back to the 60s and see.
Now you do.
And now I do, and it's very inappropriate at times.
The morgue scene. Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, his line about, I've had 3 rapes so far today. And then that was after the first wish where she is just screaming rape over and over, screaming it. And
yeah,
you wouldn't get that. I tell you what, though, if Bedazzled is on Netflix, that version, those scenes would be cut.
Probably.
Most likely.
Yeah. And that and Peter Cook kind of act is my biggest memory of this. Yeah. I like him as a comedian.
Well, listen, yeah.
But they just can't act.
I think the one positive from this was that I found their audio track and their...
They see you next Tuesday one.
See you next Tuesday. Yes, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good one.
That's a very good one. And that was good, and that educated me with their There, what humor could have, and I wouldn't go out of my way to watch any more Peter Cook movies, but I think Dudley Moore was pretty decent in Arthur.
He was passable. He's a reasonable actor. I wouldn't rate him all that high, but I wouldn't rate him that low either. But
No,
he's in the toilet.
The nuns jumping up scene was pretty funny.
Yes, sorry, I adore that scene. It prompted me to Google jumping nuns to see if that was an actual thing. I couldn't find any reference to it because that would have made me happy.
You're now on a CIA hit list.
I'm gonna watch this somewhere.
Yeah, jumping nuns. I tried to get a good screen grab of it to make it look like it was real, but they don't do an angle of just the nuns jumping. They always have the trampolines in the front.
And here's the link between this movie and the movie after is the nuns, because I should have mentioned it when we were reviewing Birdman. Birdman is after this, isn't it?
Birdman is after this, and we can go swiftly on to Birdman. Movie 465 on the list
line
was
in this
Birdman.
that I loved, I forgot to mention, was when the guy was trying to sue them. Jake, played by Zach, said, "Don't worry, I've got what was on his hard drive." And main actor goes, "What's on his hard drive? A bunch of pictures of nuns in nappies or diapers."
I don't remember that.
It stuck with me because it reminded me of Bedazzled, and I should have mentioned it the last time, but forgot about it.
There's so many links to remember, so many random threads go through these movies that are not linked in whatsoever, but they make links.
The next thread we'll try and get is jumping nuns, or nuns in general.
Nuns on the run. Sister Act. They all come up randomly now. She's not a nun in Sound of Music, is she? No, she's just a nanny.
No, she's not a nun.
No.
Nazis.
Nazi nun.
Nazi nuns on the run with guns.
2.
I'm making that.
Hitler's sisters. Oh shit. Okay.
We're gonna have to put a PG-15 on this or something. I don't know.
Yeah. This is the recap episodes. Nobody will want to watch them. X-rated. Birdman. What else? Yeah, it was great. It was the highlight of the top 10.
God. Weirdly, I've had it in my list of a movie I want to watch for I don't know how long, and I kept putting it off. I don't know why. I thought maybe it was going to be a bit too artsy-fartsy, as we said earlier today. It was not. It was an absolute joy to watch. It's smart. The production is beautiful. That camera shot that feels like it never ends the whole way through the movie is such a smart device. Like it is, and the acting spot on, stellar stuff. Like it's a masterclass in how to act. The two lads, especially, like Ed Norton, bang on.
Yeah, there's a lot of good.
Even Zach Galifianakis.
Galifianakis. What's your problem with saying his name?
I can't say it. I refuse to say it.
Do you like Between Two Ferns?
I adore Between Two Ferns. I even watched the movie version of it too, which is also awesome.
Yeah, it is. So, that was Birdman. Yeah, amazing. Great movie, and one that I would watch again, not a problem. I think I remember watching it years and years ago, and I wasn't really that enamored.
Really?
I can't remember where I was. I don't know what mental state I was in. Maybe I was watching on an airplane and I just wanted the whole thing to crash into the sea.
The context of when you're watching a movie can, make a massive difference.
Yeah.
And it comes following as well. I think this whole process, these 10 movies, has given me a newfound appreciation for
good movies.
Well, even average movies.
Yeah.
Like 27 Dresses.
Yeah.
No way in a God green earth would I go anywhere near a movie that's had the word dresses in it. No, that's a chick flick. I'm not watching that.
Would you watch one with kilts in the title?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Nuns and kilts, 3.
Scottish resistance. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's been an interesting voyage in the first 10 movies. And I think getting the crap movies is very important.
Well, it gets us into a trough at times, and it's hard to review bad shit. But
when we got 3, did we get 3 in a row, 4 in a row, were just garbage. That was painful, and I was dreading the next movie being pulled out of the hat, and I was like, "Oh God, what's this garbage going to be next?" But then we got lucky enough; we got Bedazzled, that was fine, and then we got Birdman.
Yeah, that's always good. And then my amazing, ingenious idea where every 10 episodes we'll do top 1,000. Kind of sort of backfired. It didn't really backfire, but it gave us one that we didn't really think we'd do. So episode 10, the last one, was A Night of Knowing Nothing, which was an Indian documentary, and I just watched it very recently, so it's still stuck in my craw a little bit. And I think it just, I think just because, it's the same feeling I get. Like, I would never watch this, and I've learned a little bit about what people face in India, what the different castes face, and if you're in a lower caste, you really have the odds stacked against you for any sort of decent education or a decent profession.
What's that while that is true, and I have learned something new about a different culture and obvious oppression that's happening there against a large portion of the population, I was annoyed by the delivery of that message.
True. Yeah, I agreed. When I was watching it, I was the same vibe I was getting from it. Get rid of the artsy fartsy stuff and let me
hit me with some facts. Yeah,
hit me. Yeah, and as we said in the episode, the best parts of the movie were when real stuff was being shown, the dramatic police violence scene, and interviews with certain different protesters. You could still have those letters narration over certain points. And some of it was okay, but a lot of it just, and because it highlighted the caste differences. But hey, if you're going to fictionalize something, fictionalize it. If you're going to make a documentary, documentarize it.
You know what I put it in akin to? Titanic. I hate that movie, not because of the story of a ship sinking. I hate the fictional love story that's glued on top of it.
Yeah.
Over a subject that is, in my opinion, already very interesting.
Oh yeah.
And then why doesn't Leo get on the fucking door? Sorry. That movie annoyed the crap out of me. Everything about that movie annoyed me. Needless romance. And this is the same. A needless romance over horrible stuff. An interesting subject that needs to be told. Same thing.
I totally agree with Titanic. It's such I can't watch it now because it's a romantic movie basically set on a sinking ship.
Yeah, everybody dies. Well, not everybody. Loads of people die. Oh, but these lads are happy, and she gets away in a fucking door.
Oh my God! Yeah, I'll tell you what, the door manufacturer would be freaking happy with that sturdiness.
No. He's cursing them. He said, "This door's big enough for 2." That's what we got on the advertising. That's our logo. These doors for 2.
I tried to see Titanic in Dundalk when it came out in the cinema, and we were queuing up, and we were just about to get in, and the guy comes out and goes, "Sorry, Titanic's full." So I went, "Yeah, full of water." Yeah.
That's a great line. I was like, "Oh, thank God I didn't get on that one."
Yeah, so that's our top 10. Sorry, went on to Titanic there after an Indian documentary of serious casts and.
Yeah, sorry. I do apologize. It's kind of belittling the very serious subject that was in that documentary.
But that's the way our brains work when we don't have any notes in front of us, so that's fine. Maybe people will go, "Yeah, you need to do that more."
Probably. Maybe. You have to stop cursing, lads.
Yeah, or start cursing. So this is episode 11, and so episode 12, and here's the deal, actually, I just realized this. If we're going to do a recap every 10 episodes, we're only going to have 9 movies from now on to recap. So just putting that mathematical equation out there, everybody.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's really melting my mind, man.
Yeah, you can see all the equations floating around you. So, actually, so we are going to spin our random wheel number here for episode 12. Yeah, because we have to, because we wouldn't have anything else, we wouldn't have anywhere else to do it in. So I'm going to spin it right now and see what happens. Let me see. Okay, we got a nice roll of the dice here. We got 252.
Whoa.
Okay.
Titanic, is it?
No. Okay, so episode 252. This is a movie you've never heard of before. It's Saving Private Ryan.
What?
Yes. 252. Got 91.
Spielberg, I believe. I've never heard of him before.
Tom Shanks.
Oh, excellent.
Anyway, great. Yeah, so the official synopsis for this is: during World War II D-Day invasion, a squad of soldiers led by Captain John Miller, Tom Hanks, is sent into Normandy to find Private James Ryan, Matt Damon, and return him to his mother in America. She has already lost 3 other sons in this war.
Wow. You could almost just run right into that one because I've seen it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I know, right? But the good thing about this and how we're doing it is we will notice things and we will purposefully take notes on certain aspects of it. Yeah, I must have seen it 3 or 4 times as well. But anyway, that's the end of our first recap episode. We will do this again in episode 21. Please give us any feedback on this in the way we've sort of presented this and our loosey-goosey style of not knowing what we're talking about without our notes.
This is what we normally sound like.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, in normal life. So we will see you in episode 12 of 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews. Bye-bye.
You're right, sure.